Speaker, after 8 years of this Liberal NDP government, we know that the Prime Minister is not worth the cost of groceries. Don, an independent, multi-generational greenhouse operator, was forced to sell because of the cost of the carbon tax coupled with rising interest rates. After telling the Minister of Agriculture her story directly and asking him to pass Bill C-234 unamended to reduce costs for farmers, he ignored her. What does that minister have to say to Dawn and the many facing challenges like her who are losing their businesses, their livelihoods, and their family legacies because of that Liberal government's policies?
The Honourable Minister for the Environment and Climate Change.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I find it quite ironic to be lectured by the Conservative Party on our support to farmers when just at the end of last year they voted against the On-Farm Climate Action Fund to support sustainable agriculture. They voted against the Dairy Innovation and Investment Fund. They voted against support for dairy, poultry and egg supply management producers. On this side of the House, Mr. Speaker, we will support our farmers in the transition towards a low-carbon economy, and we will help Canadians make that transition.
I'd like to remind the member from Battle River Crowfoot that he had an opportunity to ask a question which I would encourage all members to listen carefully. I'd also encourage him and all other members to listen to the answer carefully. The honourable member from Chatham-Kent-Leamington.
Mr. Speaker, the carbon tax on food is working against Canadians by decreasing both the amount and the type of food that they buy. Visits to the food banks are at record highs, over 2 million visits. And just think the new records that we're going to set once the carbon tax is quadrupled. Highline Mushrooms is in Leamington. They supply American and Canadian retailers with their mushrooms. Their American competitors don't have to pay the carbon tax, so they're forced to pass along the carbon tax cost to the Canadian consumer. This Prime Minister is not worth the cost. When will he axe the tax?
Great job, Dave. Great job.
The Honourable Minister for the Environment and Climate Change.
Mr. Speaker, I would agree with the Conservative member for Regina Louvain, who recognized that there's absolutely no data to support any link between price on pollution and higher grocery price. In fact, Mr. Speaker, there is no pricing on pollution in the United States of America, and their grocery prices are the same as we have here in Canada. There is simply no link between pricing on pollution and higher grocery prices.
The honourable member from Flamborough-Granbrook.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Beverly Greenhouses is an award-winning greenhouse operation in Flamborough that produces healthy, fresh cucumbers for Canadians. Almost $4,000 of their $13,000 natural gas bill in October was carbon tax, and it has only increased since then. When this NDP Liberal government quadruples the carbon tax, Beverly Greenhouses is going to struggle to compete with cucumbers imported from Mexico. After 8 years, this Prime Minister is not worth the cost. When will this government finally axe the tax so that this family farm can continue to feed Canadians?
The Honourable Minister for Agriculture and Agri-Food.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And being a farmer, I'm well aware how important it is to take care of the environment. And that's why it's so important to have a tax on pollution. And in fact, last Tuesday in committee, Tyler McCann at the Canadian Agri-Food Policy Institute indicated to committee members that there is no data to support the carbon pricing is resulting in any increase in groceries. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.